So we're here with Green Party candidate Karen Beazley for Kings-Hants. I'm going to ask a few questions that I've got. The first question I've got is on party whips. What's your party's policy on having a whip for party votes, and what are your feelings about it?
I do not agree with party whips.
And it's my understanding that the Green Party is the only party maybe who doesn't officially whip. So
That's my understanding. I hadn't remembered the term, but Sheila had mentioned that to me before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your position on Indigenous sovereignty, nation-to-nation relationship, and Indigenous people and structures having a veto on extraction and energy projects?
Fully supportive, fully supportive. I really stand with Indigenous peoples, and I'm a peace and friendship ally. I'm a treaty person because of the peace and friendship treaties here in Nova Scotia, and I will do everything I can to advance and respect Indigenous rights and sovereignty, leadership. If I were boss of the world, I would have the Indigenous people have 100% say on what they do on their land, our land. it's I wish that when the settlers had came to this continent that we had accepted the Indigenous ways rather than the other way around, but we're where we are today, and I think we have so much to learn from Indigenous peoples and communities about this place, this earth, and how to live in it and how to live with each other, like the respect, the value of relationship and reciprocity. It's just, those are such tremendously good values that I wish there was more of in our mainstream society.
Thank you very much. Do you mind if we move out to the lobby there?
Not at all.
I feel like we might.
Kicked out.
Well, not even so much that. I just think the music might be copyrighted, and YouTube doesn't really like that. The third question I got, though, I think you kind of answered it, so I'll ask a different one.
Okay.
It was about your biggest issue, and you kind of gave 3 during the talk. My other question that I want to ask a lot of the candidates is on repeated running. So we've had a lot of candidates for the smaller parties. It seems like it's a different face every time around. Regardless of how this election goes, do you think that you'll be the candidate for the Green Party in Kings-Hants maybe the next time around?
Well, I think it's in many respects up to the candidate. Do they offer up again?
Yeah.
So I would just need to wait and see what's happening in my life 4 years from now or whenever that would be. I do have elderly parents.
Yeah.
And they're my first priority right now. And
I know what that's
hard
like.
to say, but I believe that I think it takes a while to get to know your community and them to get to know you, and I'm just dipping my toe into the political scene, so there's so much I don't know, there's so much to learn, so I would just think it would make sense to try more than once.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is kind of a Green Party specific thing, but does your party have a problem with infighting? And if so, what would you like to do to fix it?
Well, I am new to the party. I'm not aware of any infighting at all. There probably is. There usually are. There is infighting in families. So what needs to happen is just communication, open communication, respect for each other, and, just try to work things out.
Cool. This is an interesting one because I was in a Discord server just this morning or yesterday, and I saw someone talking about the Green Party. They were talking about the Green Party USA and Jill Stein, but their comment was, as an environmentalist, I can't support the Green Party until they change their stance on nuclear. And they were talking about Jill Stein being anti-nuclear. So I've seen similar takes from environmentalists in Canada, and it seems like while most of the Green Party is anti-nuclear, there are some that are pro. I'm kind of curious what your take is on nuclear energy, the Green Party, and whether it's the way to decarbonize or not.
That is really an awesome question. And so personally, I would like to be able to avoid nuclear energy, but I have heard very respected scientists say there's no way we can do it without nuclear energy. So I think I would need to do a little more digging to say definitively one way or the other, because I really don't feel I know enough about nuclear energy and how it could possibly be done safety. I'm kind of a risk averse person, so to me it's like the dangers seem too big to risk. But on the other hand, if we don't do it and we end up burning the earth, then maybe it's a good stopgap measure for a while, or I'm not sure.
That's a fair answer, and it's a really complicated question. If we were to have nuclear, we want to have the best people in charge of it to make sure there are no accidents and these kind of things, and that's
Right.
kind of, it's all in the details, I think, with
Yeah.
nuclear. I guess my last question, and it's one that I never know what Greens are going to respond with when I ask about it, but it seems to be kind of a divisive question between the parties, and it seems like the PPC and the Conservatives go one way, all the other parties go the other way. So I'll just ask, what is your stance on Canada's firearms laws? Do you think we should have more gun control, about the same, or should we go back to how things were before Trudeau's changes or even farther?
Personally, I'd love to see more gun control everywhere. What makes it a little bit of a complex question is if we have neighbors that have guns, you know, how does that complicate the situation? If we were, for example, to be invaded, might be handy to have some guns. But I would say that generally speaking, I would say there should be guns only in the hands of the military, the police, people who are officially sanctioned to have them. Now, the only exception I have to that is for hunting, because I am not against sustainable hunting for, food and livelihoods and things. So that might be something, but for me, it's like, well, the animals don't have guns, so a more fair approach would be sticks and stones and arms and maybe arrows, but guns kind of takes the game out of game, if you ask me.
That's true as far as hunting goes. And I wonder about Canada having a one-size-fits-all gun policy, because you have different issues with guns, say, in Toronto than you would in Northern Ontario.
Exactly.
Polar bears, kind of.
Right.
Whether or not we have guns and they have guns, they're kind of out-arming us, kind of thing.
Right.
We don't got the right to bear arms here, and they've got bear arms.
They have bear arms.
Well,
yeah.
cool.
Oh, but we're intruding into their habitat. Maybe we take that risk.
That is true.
We are bear food. Yeah.
Hopefully not too many of us.
That's right.
Thanks for answering my questions.
Lots of us.
Thanks for giving the people of Kings-Hants an opportunity to have a green candidate.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to seeing you run in the future, if that's what life has for you and all the rest of us.
Thank you very much. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate your questions.
Cool. Thanks, Karen.
You.